Hello guys, I'm Anthony with Tennis Warehouse US, Tennis Warehouse Europe and Tennis Only. We are here in Monte Carlo Country Club. I'm with the former #1 and member of the Tecnifibre Pro Player team, Daniil Medvedev. Hello Daniil.
Hello, hello.
And also Mathieu Baudouin, marketing manager at Tecnifibre.
Hey guys. Yep, super happy to be with you. Daniil, thank you for being with us. Happy to be here. Let's see what we have.
I'm really grateful that you take on your time just to come and to talk about your tennis gear and a bit more things about the tour. And I would like to start this question with just how it started with the Tecnifibre and what it is to be part of the team.
Yeah, it's been already a long time now, I can say it. I started when I was 20 years old, I think. So what was it?
I think 2016.
2016, yeah, exactly. And I was playing with a different brand before, and then I got to know guys from Tecnifibre. I was thinking, do I maybe change my material, try a new racket? So I tried it, and like many things in tennis, at first I kind of liked it, so I decided, okay, let's do it, let's go for it. And they had a good proposal. Also, I was like, I knew that I'm probably going to be part of the Young Guns contest.
Okay.
From 4 very young, good guys, which if you win, you get $50,000 for your development as a player, which was, big chance. So I was like, okay, let's go for it. And then I started playing in first 2 tournaments. I would not say it was not bad. I even won some matches, but I was like, the second one was so, and I lost the last match easy. So straight away doubting, did I make the good decision? How would it go? But this year I started 330 in the rankings,
okay,
and finished 99. So in the end, it was a very good decision. Became #1 in the world with it, and still super happy with the racket.
And right now we are playing with the TFight. And I would like to know what the racket is bringing to a game, why you play with this racket rather a TF40 or TFX1 or the racket from Tecnifibre?
Yeah, I think first of all, that's the racket I started with because they told me it was the closest one to the one I was playing before, because to change like drastically the equipment, it's probably not a good thing even for your body, because your body is going to suffer. So that was like the closest racket. And me, what I personally like with the racket, that it's a little bit stiff in a way, not too stiff, but just a bit stiff. Like I don't like soft rackets because then I don't control the ball, and it depends the style of the game you have. Me, I like to control the ball a lot, so this racket helps me with my flat ground strokes to still control the ball and put it in the right place, and that's basically my force on the tennis court.
Okay, I know that the pro player, they are customizing the racket. I wanted to know, since you're a professional, are you changing a little bit the weight, the balance, something like this, or you stay consistent with the weight?
Honestly, more consistent than changing. It does happen sometimes, but again, not often. Maybe in 8 years that I'm with Tecnifibre, I changed very small details in terms of like specs and weight, balance, etc. I like the way it feels, so like why would I change the actual feel? But whenever they make a new model, it's since the beginning it was better and better. But the weight and everything keep the same.
But Daniil likes to change his strings sometimes, so that's something that happens a while ago. I don't know if
we will talk about that right after. But first of all, Mathieu, maybe you can reveal the new weapon for 2025.
All right, future Grand Slam winner.
Hopefully.
Yeah, hopefully.
So Daniil,
I didn't play with it yet. Just so
you
you
didn't
guys
play.
know.
Can I have your feedback about the design for the moment?
Yeah, so of course I didn't play. I hope it's going to be good. Let's hope a future Grand Slam winner, this racket. But I like the design. I like the colors. It's shiny this time, not matte. I like the way it feels. I like the way it looks in general. I think since I still have some old rackets, they were a bit more blackish.
Yeah, exactly.
And I like the white design a lot, so I think it's good.
It's really elegant.
Sticks to it, yeah. It's elegant. It's good colors. The only thing with the white racket, that on clay, it gets just a little bit here, orange. That's why I don't like clay. Also, one of more reasons. But if not, I really like it, and I think it's going to be a blast.
And Mathieu, I have a question for you.
Yeah, tell me.
It just I would like to know, if you are involving pro players in the development of racket, and
Yeah.
if yes, how do you do it?
Well, usually, and especially like players like Daniil, we want to let them focus all year, so we don't want to disturb them too much and have to try out new rackets. However, when we have a new racket that we think is cool, a prototype that we like usually that's when it gets in his hands. So we do that with the rackets, of course. We did that with some strings as well. Like for us as a brand, it's fantastic to have these kind of players to give their feedback, even though the feedback of Daniil, like at such a big level in the game, might not be the same feedback as some more like normal players, but it's still great, and we know that whatever he likes, like for the best players in the world, we know that we're always onto something. So it's fantastic to have sparring partners, you know, in a way like him to work on the products.
Okay, and just if I look at your range, you have the TF40 is white,
Yeah.
TFX1 is white,
Yeah.
TFight also is
Daniil
a white base.
Well,
I just would like to know the purpose of it, if there is a strategy for Tecnifibre.
Yeah, so it's a good question. I think for a while it was very important for us to have our own graphic, you know, territory in a way. So it was important to convey this one color on all of our rackets. Okay, this is what we've been doing over the past years. But in the future, basically the idea is to keep the T-Fight white, like especially now players have got used to it. So, and we want to keep it, and we also want the white color to be the flagship color of Tecnifibre. But progressively on the other range, we're going to start stepping a little bit away from the full white options. So we still have to keep a little bit of white, but we will start adding more and more colors.
Okay, so I will come back on you, Daniil. I would like to tell you a story that happens in 2023. We were invited by Tecnifibre in Rotterdam, and the first match it was you against Davidovich Fokina.
I remember the match.
You lost the first set and you looked pretty upset. You were doing a kind of like this to your box, and we were...
To this day, sorry, I still don't know what it means. So I mean, I'm excited to see what's going to happen.
On our side, we didn't know what was the meaning of this, but something happened. You turned the match and you won it in 3 sets. So at the end for Tecnifibre,
it was cool. Yeah,
it was perfect. Wow. Do you remember this moment?
I remember the match very well. Yeah, I remember the tournament very well.
Really well.
Yeah, about this, it was something with my team, so nothing to the racket and the strings. But in general, this year, a little bit like the story with where I changed from another brand to Tecnifibre. I played with Razor Code, which is white strings, and played pretty well, but basically with the changing of the balls, at least I feel like they're changing, it started to become tougher for me to make winners and to control the game. So I thought then at this moment Tecnifibre told me that they have a prototype of strings which are softer, that's why they are called Razor Soft. And so when they are softer, the ball goes a little bit faster. The scary thing is that you could lose control in a way when the strings are softer, but let's try. I tried it, I liked it. Then in Australia, the first tournament I actually played pretty well, lost to Novak. It's fine, it's not
it's not a shame.
Yeah, it's not a shame. And then Australian Open, lost third round to Corda, who can play very well, but third round is low in my standards. And then because you lose the confidence, I came back to practice and I couldn't put one ball in the court. And then for sure start asking myself, did I make the good decision to change to Razor Soft from Razor Code? And in Rotterdam I was practicing, I was not feeling well, the ball, everything.
But something happened.
So I started even talking to my coach, maybe we should come back to the white strings. And I knew that Tecnifibre had a huge launch in Rotterdam about the strings, especially about everything, but about the strings. So I was like, okay, maybe it's gonna be a tough talk after the tournament. And then, the first set was tough, and somehow I managed to turn the match around. Honestly, this has nothing to do with the strings. It's just the match sometimes turned like this. And then I managed to make win 4 tournaments and make 5 finals in a row.
Exactly.
And that's when I was like, okay, the strings are not bad, and maybe it was me the problem.
No, but I will tell you, you won the tournament. You won in the final against Sinner.
Yeah.
Then you won Doha, Dubai, Miami.
Yeah, finals in New Wales in the meantime, I think.
Finals, Miami, Rome.
Yeah.
So, for Tennis Warehouse, when we introduced this string, I can tell you that it was a fantastic storytelling. You know, you switch to Razor Soft and you play so well. and it was probably the best string introduction in terms of sales. So I would like to talk a little bit more about maybe your settings on the racket regarding the string, which tension, the gauge, if you put the same tension on the crosses and the mains.
Yeah, a little bit tricky question, because I feel like by talking to other tennis players, that some players are capable, like by doing this, like go like 22, 22, 22.5. I'm not capable. You give me 30, you give me 20, I'm not capable. So it's a little bit the same when I play. Some players are very sensitive. They can play like 5 shots and say, okay, 1 kilo less, 1 kilo down. I know one that goes 0.1 straight away, like does some shots.
Give us a name.
No. Does some shots and goes like, okay, from 22, I go 22.1. And me, sometimes I take on purpose, like 2 rackets, 22 and 24. And I won't feel much the difference, just a little. The ball, one will still go a little bit further and one will go shorter. So me, I don't change that much throughout the year. In average, I would say 22, 22.
Okay.
And I try different things throughout my career, sometimes going more on the mains and less on the cross, and even the other way around. And I kind of didn't feel much difference, so yeah, but that's just how I am. A lot of other players would be able to give you like a lot more details. That's why I say I go with mostly 22, 22, unless I really feel like, for example, Madrid is huge altitude.
Yeah.
And what I found
Balls are
strange,
flying.
it was flying a lot, but what I found strange, and then I talked to one other player and he said that he does the same. I went down.
Intention?
On clay, yeah, because
Really?
and then it was spinning the ball more, like it was taking the strings more.
Okay.
And so the ball was not flying as much, because
can
first I
understand.
went up,
Yeah.
and the ball was almost flying more, and I was like, I'm doing something wrong. So I went down and it worked.
Counterintuitive.
In general, 22, 22, and it's done.
And on average, when you are hitting the road to go to a tournament, how many rackets do you have in your bags?
On average, 8. I try to
8
have
rackets?
8.
And that's quite a lot, it's quite heavy, but are they...
After some tournaments, I have less sometimes, but it depends.
And are they strung fresh, all of them?
Tricky question, yeah. That's where I'm probably the only tennis player in the world. I have some matches where I don't think if I played the full 5 sets with 1 racket, but like 4 sets, I had matches where I played 4 sets with 1 racket. Not
But so
changing strings,
that's
nothing.
always something that I wonder. So when you have the new balls coming in,
Yeah.
you don't feel more comfortable by coming with a new racket, fresh strings, like, and how do you adapt?
That's where I'm the only one, because I don't feel, let's put it this way, when I take a new racket, new balls, no new balls, I will feel more difference in a way with the racket and the strings, because they probably went down in tension or something. And I will have to adapt longer than to still have the same racket in my hands and adapt to new balls, which takes me much less time, maybe 2 or 3 points.
And how much time do you take to get used to the new balls? Like, is it 1 shot, 1 point?
I would say it depends the conditions a lot, because some tournaments doesn't matter, and some I can feel that it's trickier. But in general, I would honestly say not more than 1 game.
And do you prefer having new balls when you serve or when you return?
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I feel like returning, because this gives you this 1 game to feel the ball, and maybe it's better than when you serve. Yeah. So, but this, usually everyone changes at least 1 per set. But also the way I play and the way the strings are, they don't lose that much tension. And like before, when I was younger, when I was not taking care too much of my strings, I could play in the preseason with 1 racket, and it would basically not break the strings for like 1 week and a half.
1 week and a half, okay.
Rare, yeah. It's because of my flat strokes.
You don't spin too much. Okay. So right now I would like to talk a little bit about the mental part of the game. You know, we are, I guess, all tennis player amateurs, but
Trying to at least.
we know that we have to play against an opponent, but also against ourselves.
Always against ourselves.
And what we like is really your authenticity. I mean, you are a player, you don't hide your feelings. And that's also why we enjoy to watch you playing. You can play also in hostile conditions. I remember the US Open when they were booing and things like this, and you were able to take the energy from the crowd. That's something very special, you know. You need to have guts to do that, and that's impressive. And you just come back from Turin, and I was watching the first match against Taylor Fritz. We created a bit of buzz. It's not really the topic, but 2 days after you play again Alex de Minaur, and you have done a great match. And I would like just to know, after the first match, I thought that you were a little bit in a hole, and you managed.
I still was in the last two matches, but in a different way.
But for me, you managed to refocus, and I would like to know a little bit more. How do you manage that? What is your mindset when you enter in the court?
Well, yeah, that's the thing. That's where I think, unless you make a little bit a season like Yannick did, where it's a very great season, you're always in a doubt. You know, Carlos has a great season, but I'm pretty sure he's just in a bit of a doubt. You know, he didn't make semis in the ITW finals, maybe didn't play the way he wanted in the end of the season. Why I say it is that, and this doubt where you are always creating can cause like some problems, and we all have this doubt, I think, tennis players in different topics. And me this year, unfortunately, like I know that in the preseason we're gonna find a way with my team to work with this and to try to develop my game for it. But I really felt like the balls were not helping me this year, and they were basically, just to explain easier, they die in the air faster. So you either need to be a really strong hitter, so the ball doesn't lose the speed till it reaches your opponent.
Yeah.
Or you need to have like this. It's either like very fast movement where the ball, or very strong one, you know, like where the ball is just so heavy, you spin. And that's neither that I have, and I just don't have it. So I'm gonna try to develop something with my team this preseason. And so basically against a lot of the players where before I could, let's say, tactically maybe run them down, you know, one cross, one line, make them run. I couldn't do it anymore because the ball was stopping. So they always would have time. So then my strengths of like wearing my opponent out would almost play against me, where I would wear myself down. And in general, I managed to fight, you know, throughout the whole season pretty well with it. We didn't have much time with the Olympic Games this season to work. So I didn't have time to work this through. So I had to like fight through it, and I made some amazing results, and you know, I finished the year number 5 in the world. But in general, mentally, it wore me down a lot, and I felt it like a little bit in Bercy already. Before Bercy, practicing with my coach, I said I feel zero like enjoyment on the court anymore to play in these conditions where I'm a little bit in disadvantage, and it showed in Paris Bercy, where I actually had in a way, let's say, good attitude. I fought good. It was a good match, and then in Turin, I just didn't have the power to fight against it anymore. So I almost gave up in the first match, gave up mentally to like fight, to have, you know, like the come on attitude or something. And so after this, I was like, okay, now I feel that in these terms, in like the fighting spirit, the season is over. I'm not able to do it anymore. So like, it's better to take it easy now. I just go, I play, I see how it goes, and I made 2 good matches.
Okay, that's quite amazing. And just to come back on Turin, you wrote on the camera, block the noise. I was wondering, block the noise of the crowd or block the noise of your inner voice?
It was more like everything together. So after the first match, which was, you know, in a way horrible, maybe worst match of the season, like double faults in the first set, second set, I mean, I lost it when I got a shank on the line on the break point. That was tough, tough to swallow, and so I lost it. So for sure, like a lot of negative feedback from everyone, and normal, and even from myself to myself, like this, you know, like just a lot of negativity, a lot of losses in the first round this year, etc. So same, I went on the court by saying it's gonna serve me for next year. I need to stop caring, but like in a good way, because well, if you really stop caring, you go out and you lose 6-0, 6-0. That's also not the case. But I need to stop caring like that much about unimportant things, and like just care of I try to hit a good shot at the right time, and that's when I was able to do it during the match. And like the celebration of football players, they call it block the noise, and I like it.
Yeah, can we say that you just enjoy a little bit playing? Because on average you have a lot of pressure. You have the crowd, you have the camera and things like this. It's can be a lot on your shoulder, and then you don't play with the same pleasure. Is it something that you're developing just to have fun to play?
Yeah, I mean, I love tennis, so it helps, because I think there are not many, but there are some players that doesn't like tennis, and usually, you know, they take breaks from their career at one moment.
Public, no?
Like
No, he likes.
He likes it. Okay.
Yeah, it's like I'm
He
a
has
bit-
days on and days off.
I think we're a little bit the same with public in a way, because I guess from the environment we come from is where we like to, in a way, tell it out loud that, oh my God, I don't like it. You know, it's too much. Like with me with Fritz, suppression and everything. But we know that we love it, you know, and he loves it also. I'm pretty sure. I wonder what he says. But yeah, it's something that is not easy to handle in tennis. We travel a lot, so
Yeah.
if whenever you have family, it becomes tougher. When you have kids, it becomes tougher. And if you don't enjoy it, you basically stop at one moment. You know, we have enough money or anything. I want enough to just stop it. But I love it. I want to improve. For me, it's this willing to improve, to win. You know, I lost a lot of matches this year. I feel like maybe in percentage-wise more than before.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to change it next year. I want to win more matches and lose less.
It's giving you motivation.
Yeah, I want to win guys like Sinner. You know, I lost 8 times, 7 times out of last 8, something like this.
But it was the contrary before, because
Yes,
now
but
it's
that's,
8 for
that's what I
Sinner,
wanna-
7 for you.
Yeah. That's what I want to work on, and I'm not sure I will be able to, but that's what drives me, and that's what gives me enjoyment. And then, as you say, when you're on the court, crowd, the result, it can, on a day like you lose, you ask me 5 minutes after the match, I would be like, I hate tennis. But then the next day,
That sounds
or in
familiar.
2 days, yeah, you go on the court, you practice, and you're like, I'm gonna try to do better.
Yeah, I totally understand. It's true. Like you were talking about that, but tennis might be the only sport when you are every week in a different place. You know, traveling the world and so on. So I would like to know. So if you have a special routine before a match, mentally, or you know the way you prepare.
I would say yes, because the routines keep you in a good, not even in a good mood, but like you know what you will do and what you have to do, and it's very important because when you in tennis, the big difference with a lot of other sports, I think, is that tennis you can basically play, let's say, on Monday at 11, and Tuesday you can play at 10 in the evening.
Yeah.
And so it's a completely different routine. So I have my routines, like when I play at 11, what time I wake up, what time I take breakfast, because I'm a lot of years on tour, so I try to feel how my body feels the best. When I eat before the match, do I digest well? What do I digest well? So for sure, a lot of routines, and this exactly helps you mentally. So like this, you come at the match at 10 p.m. and you know that you're not going to be sleepy, or suddenly at 11, after one set, you're like, oh, I feel like I want to eat now. You have the routine, and mentally you know that you're ready, and you just go for it.
And on the court, you have some habits. Some players, they don't step on the lines or
Yeah,
things
I
like
see.
this.
For example, sometimes I don't know if you do it on purpose. When
Yeah, I
you
don't like
walk,
to
you
step the line.
you avoid, but you don't overlap either. You just walk around. Like I've always noticed that about you. Is that something that you do
It depends.
consciously?
Like it's something that I do consciously, and this, I'd not call it a superstition because I change it sometimes. But it's like
used to it. You like
routine superstitions. Yeah,
You
you
like
know?
it.
Yeah. So I don't believe that if I step on the line or if I cut, that I lose the match. But at the same time, if I don't do it, it's maybe
good.
better.
Ah,
Yeah,
okay.
it's good.
And you're not a machine. I think you're still human. And when you are playing a match, do you say something? Oh, there is something that scares me. I hope that this thing won't happen. Is there something that scares you during a
Scares
match?
me. I think scare is not the right word. Yeah, like I'm sorry, when you have a break point at 4-all in the third, for example, I had one in Bersin, tough point, crazy point. Anyway,
I remember.
you want to win it, you know. Are you like scared not to win it? Well, no, because it's a tennis match, and some of them you lost, some of them you won like this, and it's normal. But like you want to win it, so you have this stress, you know. And when you win it, it's actually a good feeling because straight away the adrenaline comes out, and that's when. You know, some people scream, I don't, but I keep it in myself because I like this feeling. But something that really like scares me, not really, I don't think so.
And you know what is being in a zone when you play? You can do everything.
Yeah.
Do you have a tip maybe to enter in the zone for your game?
I don't, unfortunately, because I still don't know exactly, like for sure, the routine, the practice before, what you every day you practice and you feel like, okay, maybe 3 days before the match I practice 5 hours to get the sensations in. 2 days before I do 2 hours playing only points, and one day before the match I hit 1 hour easy. I mean, everyone has different ones, but it can help you to try to get in the zone.
Yeah.
But then there is no, this is the biggest tip, because there is no like one advice. Otherwise I would always do it, but I'm not always in the zone. It's a good feeling.
And Daniil, I would like to know your best memory on the tour.
Best memory, US Open. I have a lot of good ones, and like if you ask me, I would even say that it's the best one because it's a Grand Slam. It's my only Grand Slam, and it's beating Novak. So a lot of unbelievable things. But if not, there are so many good feelings. Like you win any tournament, you win is a good feeling. Any story you have, like Rotterdam or taking Tecnifibre racket, becoming 99 in the world. It's all of this is part of the journey, part of the good feeling, part of why I enjoy tennis, part of adrenaline. But the biggest victory is the US Open. It was an amazing, it was not even an evening, but a day. I had some good time.
We were watching you. And for the next question is just, I give you the choice. Either the worst memory, so if you don't want to answer, we can skip it. But maybe you have a funny anecdote about your career on the tour, something that a tennis player could like.
Well, I remember, he told this story already, but anyway, we can say it again. I remember we were with Bublik in San Rafael, which is like 2 hours by car from here. It was a Futures. If I'm not mistaken, I would be something like, well, I don't want to lie. I think it was, the year was, I lost. So I think I would be something like 600 in the world, and he would be like 1,200.
Okay.
And because the tennis journey, you know, now let's say you're 20 in the world and you're like, wow, it's so tough to become top 10. You basically need like semis of a Masters 1000 and maybe 2 or 3 times quarters of a Grand Slam, and you're thinking, okay, how do I do it? But then you can make it. But it's exactly the same when you start playing Futures, Challengers. You need to come into Challenger Tour, you need to win maybe 3-4 Futures and make some finals. To come from Challenger to ATP, you need to win the Challengers. To win 3-4 Challengers, make 3 times qualies quarters of ATP. So we were sitting there, and at the time it was Futures, and I was always not seated, playing in France, which are pretty strong Futures. And I would win the first round, where I would get a draw with a non-seeded player, and the second I would get a seeded player who would be always top 400, and I would lose in a tight match. And all this, you get 1 point for one match, and 2 points if you win the second one, which I was losing. And 2 points doesn't get you anywhere. And I was sitting there, I was like, how do guys become like 300 in the world and 350? And he was like, I don't remember what he answered, but he still remembers the story. And because now, you know, we're high in the rankings, I managed to be #1 in the world. And it's just, you go for it, you continue, you fight. And about the worst memory, I would have a lot, so I don't think I have one. I don't have one. But could be Rafa's match, but I don't take it as a worst memory. Was great match to play, tough environment, and I'm really disappointed that I didn't win it. But I don't have it in my gut like the worst memory of my tennis career. It was good memory. It was a final of a Grand Slam. You know, a lot of players dream about it. So I would say first round losses are tougher, and I would probably could find you one from there.
And question for 2025, I would like to know which tournament would you dream to add to your record list? You have already the 20 titles, master finals.
One thing also, I don't know if you know, but the 20 tournaments that you've won, it's 20 different tournaments. Like, is it something that you want to keep, doing in the future?
No,
so when you come to Rotterdam, you're like, hey, already won, it's okay for me, no?
It's a good start, but in a way, I'm disappointed with myself, because I'm like, how I treat my career is I don't care. Like if it's a tournament I didn't win or if it's a tournament I won. So I want to just, every tournament I come, I want to win it. So I'm disappointed that I never managed to come to a tournament I won and just say, okay, I want to win it second time, and I win it. It's not that simple. And I had some tournaments where I think I made final and I was close. But if you ask me, from one way, I would say Wimbledon, because it's like the flagship, of all the tennis tournaments. But the way my career was going and the way Australian Open was going, I would really dream of winning Australian Open. So it would be Australian Open.
And Daniil, I have I could ask you many questions, but we need also to do some to end the interview. Maybe the last question is just if you have some advices for the young player that would like to walk on your steps and become a pro player like you.
I would say two things. First of all,
Play with TFight.
Yeah. 3. Play with TFight. Second thing is make sure you enjoy it, like I said, because there are gonna be days, you know. Imagine you're 10 years old and your parents come to you and say you need to do better, and you're like, oh my god, I don't like tennis anymore. There is pressure, etc. But the real question is, do you enjoy the game and do you like it like deep inside? Because I always did, so that's why I always continued. But if you don't, then it can become tough. It can become tough to actually perform, first of all, and then even if you do, it can become tough
and to be happy in your life,
to handle it, to be happy in your life. So I think it's important. And second one would be go for it. Try to improve. Try to win.
Believe in yourself.
Try to win. Yeah, believe in yourself. Because me, what always drives me is I always love to win and I hate to lose. So it's just two things together. Where
I've heard you once. You said, I hate losing more than I like winning.
Almost.
Really?
Because the feeling of winning is good. It's a good adrenaline, but the feeling when you lose is absolutely disastrous. And so I hated it. Like when you win, you don't have this feeling. So yeah.
Daniil, I would like to just thank you for joining us, talking about your tennis gear. We really like your authenticity, what you are providing, the show that you are providing on the court. I would like also to thank you, Mathieu, just to have,
thank you guys. Thank you for being with us.
Thank you guys
for the organization. And I think that now it's time to just try a little bit this new TFight 2025.
Let's do it.
All right. Awesome.
It's gonna be my first time.
Thank you very much.
Thank you guys. Thank you.